Hello, I'm Mama Zulfa Ziaulkhaq. I want to explain about TOEFL. Test of English as Foreign Language or TOEFL is the test that serves to measure your English language or to measure your English skills. If you want to continue your study abroad, you usually have to include a TOEFL certificate. This test has questions about academic, history, economic, and daily life as student. The vocabulary test is also related to academic. TOEFL consists of 4 test sections, namely listening comprehension, structure and written expression, reading comprehension, and test of written English. TOEFL has 3 types of tests, including TOEFL PBT, TOEFL CBT, and TOEFL IBT, while the assessment system depends on which TOEFL you take. The TOEFL PBT score starts from 217 till 617. Then TOEFL CBT score start from 0 till 300. While TOEFL IBT, the score start from 0 till 120. Although its function is a requirement for continuing studies, there are several companies in Indonesia that use TOEFL as condition of registration. The TOEFL test score, that is the minimum standard for universities or companies, is 500. TOEIC. TOEIC, or Test of English for International Communication, is test specifically designed to measure English language skills in the work environment. So it can be said that this test is intended for people who want to work in foreign companies. If TOEFL questions are academic, the TOEIC question only discuss topics around the world of work, such as presentation with client, meetings or co-workers, and so on. TOEIC only consists of 2 parts of the test, namely reading and listening. The duration of TOEIC is relatively short, which is only 2 hours, in contrast to TOEFL, which can take up to 5 hours. Then what about TOEIC score? Well, the TOEIC score starts from 5 till 990. The standard score from some companies is 700. Therefore, try to be more than 700 if you want to work in a foreign company.
Okay, the next is test objective. TOEIC and TOEFL have different purposes and interests. TOEFL is usually used for those of you who want to continue your education to study abroad, while TOEIC is more intended to measure English language skill in the work environment. So, if you want to continue your education and scholarship, it is more advisable to take the TOEFL test. But if you need this to work, then TOEIC is the right choice. Test format. The TOEFL test consists of 4 sessions, namely reading, listening, speaking, and writing. This test will take approximately 4 hours. The division of this session is done to measure the various English skill mastered in TOEFL. There are 2 test formats, namely paper and computer. The first is paper version. The paper version also have various of the TOEFL test has following section. The first is listening comprehension. To demonstrate their ability to understand spoken English, examiners must listen to various types of passages on a tape recording and respond to multiple choice questions about the passages. Second, structure and written expression. To demonstrate their ability to recognize grammatically correct English, examiners must either choose the correct way to complete sentences or find error in sentences. And the next, reading comprehension. To demonstrate their ability to understand written English, examiners must answer multiple choice questions about the ideas and the meanings of words in reading passages. The next is test or of written English. To demonstrate their ability to produce correct, organized, and meaningful English, examiners must write an easy essay or a given topic in 30 minutes. The test of written English is not given with very administration of paper TOEFL test. Second is computer version. The computer version of the TOEFL test has the following section. The first is listening. To demonstrate their ability to understand spoken English, examiners must first listen to passages on handphones as they see picture on a computer screen and answer various types of questions about the passages that they just heard. Second is structure. To demonstrate their ability to recognize grammatically correct English, examiners must look at sentences on a computer screen and either choose the correct way to complete the sentences or identify errors in the sentences. Next is reading. To demonstrate their ability to understand written English, examiners must read passages on a computer screen and answer various types of questions about the ideas and meanings of words in the passages. Next is writing. To demonstrate their ability to produce meaningful, organized, and correct English, examiners must written an essay on a given topic in 30 minutes either on the computer or by hand. Well, TOEIC has two sessions, namely reading and listening. The time given is quite short, about 2 hours. The TOEIC test is considered easier than the TOEFL test because it's only measured to skill. These are listening comprehension and reading. Each section contains 100 questions. You will need approximately 2 hours to take the test. The first is listening comprehension, have 45 minutes. Part 1 photographs have 20 questions. Part 2 question response have 30 questions. Part 3 short conversation have 30 questions. Part 5 short talk have 20 questions. Next reading 75 minutes. Part 5 incomplete sentence 40 questions. Part 6 error recognition 20 questions. And the last is part 7 reading comprehension have 40 questions.
With the test score. In the TOEFL test, you will get points from 0 to 120 in each session. There is no standard passing score in this test. Each university has its own criteria for how many test scores are passed. But on the average, the TOEFL test score that is standard for university is about 500. If the TOEFL score of 500 is already high, then it's different with TOEIC. During this test, you will get a score between 5 and 190. Just like TOEFL, there is no such thing as not passing the test. But for this test certificate to be useful, you must be able to get a minimum score of 700. TOEFL tips. Learn TOEFL exam format. The first tip for passing the TOEFL test is to make sure you understand the structure and format of the TOEFL questions, including number, type of question. This will help you organize your strategy and time during the test. Second, take a simulation test. The next step for passing the TOEFL test is to do a TOEFL simulation test. The simulation test is even very important. to get a real picture of the question types and difficulty levels. The simulation test will help you gain hands-on experience and familiarize yourself with the real exam. Simulation tests can be done in person or online. Third, practice listening. To ensure your English skills are really qualified, of course, your listening skill must be also be good. Listening exercises can be done by taking various audio sources in the English, such as news, podcasts, or interviews. And four, improve your reading skills. To improve your English reading skills, you can also start with practicing reading articles in English. You can read a variety of topics and genres, such as news, article, encyclopedias, and or fiction. And the five is increase vocab. In order to successfully pass to TOEFL test, of course you must also have a lot English vocabulary. Increase your English vocabulary list by reading, listening, and doing vocabulary exercises. And the sixth is write and practice grammar. One of the most important things to master in English is grammar. Practice writing, practice writing by following the correct grammar patterns. This practice will help you develop your ability to write in a more academic style. And the second is TOEIC tips. I will explain about TOEIC, TOEIC tips. The first is preparing yourself as well as possible. The TOEIC test is not the TOEIC test is not an easy example, not easy English exam. We recommend that you first master basic English materials before deciding to take a TOEIC test, at least at intermediate level. In order to find out where your English level is, do a placement test. From the results, you can evaluate your ability so that you can be more focused on facing all your shortcomings in understanding English. The second is take the TOEIC test simulation. Mental preparation as well as ability testing needs to be done in order to make you more confident when facing the official TOEIC test. This can be tried continuously by following simulations. What's more, the TOEIC test simulation that you do can help you to get used to doing TOEIC question on time. And the next is focusing yourself. Many people fail to get good score when the taking TOEIC test because they get stuck in a number of questions. Keep in mind that there are many tricky questions in the TOEIC test. Therefore, you must really concentrate so that you can focus answering questions with properly and correctly, especially during the listening session. And the next part is listening intensely during listening session. Listening is a session that is quite stressful because of the many tricky words. Tips for doing TOEIC for listening session are to focus and try to listen as well as possible to conversation that takes place. When the question is finished, you need to answer it directly. Make sure not to focus on sound similarities, but rather look for keywords from narrative or conversation you are listening to. And the next is in the reading session. Read the question first. The difficulty of the TOEIC test make most people take a long time to answer one question. To overcome this, avoid reading the text first, especially if the narrative is too long. Instead, you can read the question directly. For example, if the question is about the main idea of the text, You can simply read the first paragraph and the last paragraph. If you haven't found the answer, try to read another paragraph. And the next is start the test with prayer. Absolutely, and admittedly or not, praying will make you more relaxed and confident in answering the TOEIC question. In this way, there will be positive suggestions that enter your mind. And the last is conclusion. In conclusion, this test is with its unique nuances. Open doors to diverse opportunities. The choice lies in understanding the path one with the to treat, allowing English proficiency to unlock the doors to our possibilities. And that's all from me.